Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace. Peace, family. This your brother, Mr. Holipsism. I'm here by myself right now. Hopefully, some people come in and join me. But as for now, I'm here with you. And the topic of this live stream is addressing the pink elephants in the room. What I want to know is what uncomfortable truths do Black folks in America need to be addressed before we can move on to any socioeconomic and political power anywhere on the planet Earth. Does anyone understand what I mean when I ask that question? Peace, Kevin. Peace, Eric. Do you guys understand what I mean when I ask that question? Let me ask it again. What uncomfortable truths do Black folks in America need to be addressed before we can move on to any socioeconomic and political power anywhere on the planet Earth? Let me know in the chat if you understand that question. Kevin says culture. Let me put that on the screen. What aspect of culture, Kevin, in your opinion? And while Kevin answers that, and hopefully Eric will chime in, um, a lot of these live streams are based on conversations that we have like internally in our group. Eric says no end game. Yeah, that's a big one. That's sort of where I'm headed. A lot of these live streams are based on conversations we have internally. We usually are on the Discord, and we do the lounge. And the lounge is usually on Sundays, but we've been like expanding it to whenever we're free. We all jump in the lounge on Discord and have a conversation. And one of the things that I'm a big advocate for is ideological consistency. I can't stand um, blatant and obvious contradictions, and for those contradictions to go unaddressed. So I was thinking, well, actually, this one in particular was based on something that happened. We had a live stream last week where we were talking about putting a W in the win column. And to my surprise, everybody, basically, just about everyone agreed that we should have our people start accounts with the Black Bank, One United Bank. So I was looking at the comments, and one of the people in the comments said, "Well, they went through this whole soliloquy about why, we got to, before we put our money in a Black bank, it has to first show us this pro-Black and all this other stuff." And so I just asked a simple question: what money do you have your bank? What bank do you have your money in now? Is it a pro-Black bank? And if it is, what is it? Let's find out what bank it is. And the person got so offended that I asked that question. And it just goes back to the thumbnail for this live stream. If you throw a rock into a pile of dogs, the only one that yelps is the one that got hit. It's funny how we come up with all types of Negro stalling tactics whenever you get down to the solution to the problem. We discovered, we had the consensus that the solution to the problem was the black bank. By pooling our resources, taking our money out of white banks, putting them in the black bank, as you can see with the scrolling banner at the bottom of this screen. The black bank, number one black bank in the country, one United Bank. Why reinvent the wheel? We don't have to create another bank. Just support the one that exists. We all said that's what we wanted to do. There was group consensus. And somebody's always going to interject with a Negro stalling tactic about why we can't do what the group clearly says we should be doing. So it's just an interesting dynamic that the pink elephant in the room in that situation is the voice of dissent. And dissent for no reason other than just contrarianism. There really is no solution to the dissent. It's not like the dissent is there to push the topic forward or to come up with other solutions or better solutions. It's just to contradict and just be against whatever the group consents on. So that give you an example of what I'm talking about. What I want to know from everybody who chimes in is what uncomfortable truth do we have to deal with as a collective before we move on to socioeconomic and political power? I mean, I can give my opinion, but I really hate the sound of my voice. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So let me put the call-in link in the chat room for anybody who wants to join in. Hold on 1 second. There it is. Or you can put it in the chat room and we can discuss it. I like what Eric said, no end game. I've always said that. The two questions that black folks need to ask their representatives and their black talking heads is, what is the black agenda? And what is the end game for black folks in America? Those are the two questions that you should be asking your leaders, your representatives, and the black talking heads who claim to be about blackness and pro-blackness and all this other, rhetorical BS. What is the black agenda? And what is the end game for black folks here in America? You should be asking anybody that you're listening to, even if it's a content creator on YouTube, ask them those two questions, because then you're going to discover who's really down and who's BSing. Anyway, anybody want to chime in? Because I don't like talking for too long without hearing somebody else's voice. It's just the way I am. Anybody? Not even in the chat? I think I gave a nice little intro and an example. Wow, nothing? No feedback whatsoever? That's wild. Nobody. Wow. Well, let me see if I can come up with some more examples. What did we talk about in the lounge the other night? We got into some discussions on the hypocrisy of feminism. We got into some discussions on the hypocrisy of what is an adult. Like why is I remember Jesse Ventura said when he did his first tour in the military, he tried to sign up again, and the people in the military was like, well, why you just did a tour, why would you sign up again? And he said because in the military I'm an adult. When I'm a civilian, I can't even go and drink a beer in a bar. I can't drink alcohol. They won't let me do this. They won't let me do that because I'm underage. But I can go overseas and kill people and get killed. So if I'm going to get treated like a child, I'd rather just be in the military and be an adult. I was like, he ain't lying. So that's an example of the pink elephant in the room. What is an adult? There just recently was a case where some kids who were teenagers threw a rock or a brick or something, like a big rock or something off an overpass. It went into the windshield and killed the driver, who was a man. The um, defense tried to present it as, them being underage and they should, go to whatever, wherever they send the underage kids. And the judge was like, nah, we treat them as adults. They going to prison. So I asked the question, I'm like, okay, so if you can send those kids to an adult prison and they're teenagers, then what's the issue with those same teenagers who are of age, mind you, having sex with another adult? Doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter what the age of the adult is if they're an adult too. Hey, I'm just asking because it seems kind of crazy to me that on one hand, if you date a 19-year-old, you're considered a pedophile, but that same 19-year-old can go overseas and get killed and kill people in a war or be sentenced as an adult if they're underage. If they're under 19, they could be 16 and 15 and be considered an adult. But if they're 19 of age, they can't have sex because that's grooming. Can't have it both ways. Sorry. I have a solution to that problem. Let's make the age of consent 25, meaning you can't go to war until you're 25. You can't drink until you're 25. You can't drive until you're 25, and you can't have sex until you're 25. That solves everything. Oh no, but it doesn't. It doesn't solve everything because then you're missing all of that 18, 25-year-old money in marketing. Let's see. Yo, what's up, R? Good afternoon to you. Eric says majority would just give a vague answer like a system of justice. Yeah, you're right. I'm not going to get much depth. Uh, what if people went to these? What if R says? What if people went to these reps of us and they got nothing but BS? Well, that's all they gonna get, Big Brother R. It ain't like I'm. It's like a rhetorical question. I don't really expect an answer from these representatives because if they actually had an answer, they wouldn't be black talking heads. They don't have any good answers. They're not going to give you anything that's going to be anything resembling a solution. What it's going to do is basically be a grift to keep flaming black outrage, keep you angry, keep giving you content that, like breaking news, a white lady called a little baby a nigger. Breaking news, somebody was discriminated against in America. Breaking news, somebody was teased because of their hair texture. Breaking news, somebody was teased because they're dark skinned. Breaking news, all of this breaking news that really is just gonna just rage, is rage bait to get you upset and angry about something that you ain't gonna do a damn thing about. But when you start talking about solutions to these problems, nobody wants to engage. Now, there's an uncomfortable truth. Yeah, you got it. Just a meaningless serving of word salad. That's what you get. That's whenever, like, I remember when pro black used to actually mean something. Now, when I hear pro black, it's cringe and I roll my eyes because I know what it's about. I know what it's about. It's about pandering and rage baiting black folks. Why do we need another story telling us? And that's this most recent story is the one that really pissed me off because, and it wasn't about the story itself, it's what the story represented. This lady calls a little 5-year-old black kid a nigga in the park, and everybody's talking about it. Oh, I can't believe it. Then the lady, they found out who she was. She raises some type on some GoFundMe platform. I don't think it's GoFundMe, but it's like GoFundMe, some platform where she fundraise because she's saying that people are threatening her and she's in danger and all this other stuff. And the lady raised, last time I checked, they said that she had raised $1 million on this platform. Now the recent story is that some chick online came up with a way that the company that raised the platform that she raised the funds through froze the account, so she's not getting any of the money even though she raised $1 million. And everybody's talking about that, but nobody's talking about the thing that really needs to be talked about. And the thing that really needs to be talked about and discussed is this white racist chick, which is sort of like saying jumbo shrimp, but that's another story. She managed to raise $1 million off some BS. But we have the Liberia Leadership Academy, where we're teaching young Liberian youth about their history of their country, and basically putting them in the positions to be ethical citizens so that they can run for office and take over that country and put it on the right track. Total good cause. It would take we did the math. It would take to fully fund the Liberia Leadership Academy 20 black people. They could be 20 black people in America, 20 black people on the continent, 20 black people across the diaspora, given $15 a week, which comes out to $60 a month, and it would be fully funded. Have we gotten that yet? But this lady can get $1 million for calling a black kid a nigger. So who supports who? Is it safe to say that the people that support that lady have more passion for their racism than we do for our empowerment? Did anybody get hit by that rock? Am I lying? Like my brother used to say, stop me when I start lying. Let's see. Every group has achieved land, infrastructure, nationhood, etc., with the element of crime among their respective groups. No group has ever been able to completely eliminate crime from among themselves, nor do they want to. It's baked into the cake. There's another uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to deal with. This whole we gotta eliminate crime. It ain't about eliminating crime. Crime is a part of the cake. It's baked into the cake. There's going to be crime. Just like in the art of war, they say it's going to be spies. The question is, what type of spy are they and how do you use them? But to get rid of them, that's not going to happen. Just like you're not going to get rid of crime. Now, you can decrease crime or disincentivize crime by the way that you formulate your society, but it's never going to be completely eliminated. And what you don't want is freaking criminals running the society. That's what you don't want. It's just like when you have a retail store, they have they know that a certain amount of their merchandise is going to be stolen by their employees. They just understand that that's just how it works. I forget the term that it's called, but they know they it's baked into the cake that part of doing business is having theft by the people that work for you. Let's see. Peace, Vanessa. And peace, Joe. I think that's Joe. Joe says they want to wait until we're perfect. Which means but truth blacks are not serious about empowerment. Yeah. Yeah. Cost of doing business. You're right. Yeah, I figured you always got some unpronounceable name that I can't I can't mess with. Hey Vanessa, do you want to call in? I don't think you've ever called in. Here's the call in link. I would love to talk to you if you want to. It's totally up to you. You too, Joe. You can call in as well because I don't want to sit here just yapping my gums. I'm basically just responding to what you guys are putting in the chat room. I don't know what the hell happened to Deontay. He was supposed to be here in 10 minutes. Do, 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 do. That's me drinking alkaline water. Who wants to join me? I hope everybody understands. Let me repeat the live stream. It's called Addressing the Pink Elephants in the Room. And the description of that is what uncomfortable truths do Black folks in America need to be addressed before we can move on to any socioeconomic and political power anywhere on the planet Earth? That's the topic, people. Nationhood is the only way out. I agree, Vanessa. The problem is getting people to actually acknowledge that. It's 2025, and we still having a discussion over whether we should even have a nation. I'm getting serious pushback from people that I love and people that I respect about whether we should even have a nation because they're totally vested in America. They think that whatever we're gonna do, we need to do it right here. Peace, Joe.
Peace.
How you doing? What you eating over there?
I just finished my breakfast. I was talking about Deontay. He getting the snacking on before you.
Oh, okay. What'd you have for breakfast?
Simple. It's this little these little I don't know what they're called, but they're like in a wrap, and it's like egg and cheese inside and stuff.
Oh, like a breakfast burrito?
I guess so. Um, the and grits. I don't really like grits, but it's just to fill space basically in the stomach.
Oh yeah. I'm not a grits person either. I can eat them, but it's not like something that I like. Hey, I got to get some grits. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like if it's there, I'll indulge.
yeah.
Just as long as I got something to pile on it, so it could take away from the texture of the grits. Not a fan.
Yeah, I didn't grow up eating it.
But yeah, what do you think about the uncomfortable truths, the pink elephants in the room? Like, what needs to be addressed in your opinion?
It's a lot of little it's a lot of little stuff that we've heard over the years. That's the crime one is one of the classics to me. Just any and it's really just about perfection because not only have I heard them mention crime as a barrier, but I've heard, you know, we 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 gotta all love each other. We gotta all respect each other. Just a
Yeah,
lot of little
that.
stuff. Hey, wait a minute now. Your shoelaces ain't tied. You know, we can't achieve this. Just anything, anything.
Look, squirrel. There's a
Yeah,
squirrel.
yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Vanessa.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good
Yes,
afternoon.
of course.
To you.
Yes, a pleasure.
It truly is a pleasure. Hey, everyone on the panel. Hey, fam in the chat.
Peace.
I'm so anxious to hear what Vanessa's take is on these pink elephants in the room. Like, what is this uncomfortable truth Black folks need to hear before we actually start doing something?
Oh, yeah. They probably don't want to hear me because, I'm like a mean little Garveyite. Garvey told us about this. When you drink the poisons of Western civilization, you going to die. And he said that we got to go to Liberia so we can be our own man and our own woman, free and truly liberated to have our own government and our own nation. 1+1 is 2. I'm a Garveyite grandbaby. My parents, grandparents, they was all in the movement. So that's how that's how I come across. And I live in Philly. So the last UNIA chapter is on Cecil B. Moore. So in my early 20s, like instead of being all out in the streets hanging out with my girlfriends, I used to go down to the hall. I sucked up so much knowledge in my 20s. Now in my 30s, I be looking at these Black people and they look retarded because y'all now they want to be FBA and ADOS and Hebrew and indigenous and all of
Yeah.
this weird corny shit. Oh, I don't want to curse. But
Oh no,
No,
you
it's
good.
big.
No, you're good.
oh yeah, like that shit is corny, bro. Like for real, it's nothing sexier than to stand up tall and say that you an African Black man or an African Black woman. Like how hard is it? So now you trapped yourselves, not us in this group over here. You know what I mean? Because I've always been a hardcore nationalist, but the the stallers and the what we call the Captain America niggas, yeah, you trapped yourself up in here, honey, with these white folks and the immigrants and their policies and their religions and all of that weird shit that's all up in the United States of America today. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, right? Everybody may not agree on politics, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, this shit has exposed these Negroes. You're not doing shit on the left. You have no entryway into the right. The right don't give a damn about you. You're not starting your own party. The bank that you the United Bank that is supposed to be for Blacks is underfunded and they don't even want to sit here and put their money in the Black owned banks. You don't have a damn dirt road in here. You don't own no health care. If I gotta get health care, I gotta go to the white man. That shit is hurtful. Like I'm really hurt. I'm disappointed. I'm 38 years old. I'm so fucking hurt. If I gotta get a car, I gotta go to the white man. If I gotta get a phone, he makes the phones. If I gotta get on transportation, he owns the transportation. And then they want to sit up here talking about some we delineating and we ain't African no more. What? Like nigga,
Yeah,
everything that we use, the phones, the laptops, the TVs, that coltan comes from where? Out of the Congo, bro. If it wasn't for Africa, you niggas wouldn't have nothing over here. And then you trapped yourself over here politically and physically talking about we in Africa and we don't want no nationhood. Look, it's a sickness. This is some plantation breeded mentality that has leaked from the it started within the jails too, but then it started leaking into these little cult sectors on this YouTube and TikTok and Facebook. I don't even be on these social medias because I'm too thorough for this shit. And then now it wants to spill out into the streets. Like, I don't have no sympathy for them right now. At this point, they cut off. Like, I know I got my passport. I just gotta go to the Liberian what is it? The embassy, and I can start my paperwork on my dual citizenship, so I can be I can roll. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Liberia is where it's at. They getting ready to roll out the red carpet for us. It was the 400-year return in Ghana, and Ibrahim in Burkina Faso, they said come home. And Dr. Ari Khan said, come on, let's come home. Let's do this. So I think that it's about time for me to, it's a double separation. Not only do we have to separate from the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal, yeah, I know, that's from SETI. He cracks me up though. We got to separate from the Cro-Magnon, but we got to separate from the Cro-Magnon's pets. These Negroes that want to stay here and they don't want to do nothing here. You're not going to do nothing here because you have no jurisdiction, as they say. Here go the Aboriginals, indigenous Moors. We got jurisdiction. No, you don't, nigga. Because if you did have jurisdiction, that border wouldn't be open, and all them illegals was coming in here replacing you on your job, and then you was crying, talking about, well, we want the border closed, but you don't have no jurisdiction to open or close the border. That's what happens when you lay up under the white man's infrastructure for the past 400 years looking stupid, and now you have no way out because you're not African no more. So yeah,
but sister, I get to wear Nikes over here. Look at my shoes.
Oh, they just said that the Chinese was making them all them fake bags and the fake sneakers. They was making them for $10, less than $10, and they turn around and sell it. And these Negro celebrities and so-called upper class and middle class was running around buying Hermes and Louis Vuitton and Gucci. And Gucci stole the colors from Marcus Garvey, the red, black, and green, by the way. So if you running around here with Gucci on, spending $5,000, and then you don't want the red, black, and green, you's an idiot.
Yo, Vanessa. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Vanessa?
I can hear you.
I gotta say this. I love you.
I love you too.
You did not disappoint. That's why I didn't say nothing. Let her cook. You did not disappoint. I'm so happy to have you on.
It's an embarrassment. And to be honest, these white people, like I did, like, cause I check in on the commentary every now and then because, I want to keep a fresh of the news, but it's getting corny at this point. If we ain't talking about making this move, to go to Africa and build our homes over there, build our lives over there, you're not talking about nothing. Because obviously our parents, grandparents, and our great grandparents, they stayed here to work it out. We gotta stay and work it out. And how is that working out for y'all right now when the white chick is up here calling your little babies niggers and shit, and then you sitting up here crying and talking about, oh, well, she's a racist. No, she not. She white. That's what she's supposed to do. That's what they say at the dinner table at night. They key and pillow talking to their husbands and wives, calling us the N-word any chance that they can get, because they are opposed to us naturally, period. So at the end of the day, we supposed to be doing what we supposed to do. You can't police somebody's prejudice and stereotypes. I may not like snakes or something like that, or I may not for I don't like blonde hair, to be honest, right? So you're never going to catch me with a blonde wig on. That's just my preference. That's my little prejudice that I have. So you can't stop me or force me for liking to like blonde hair or to like snakes. Just like you can't force a white person to love a black person. Like, come on now, what time are we in? Martin Luther King is gone, boo, and the scandals on his name is, we can go down the list, because I read that book, what he did. So we can't sit here and try to make and force another race of people to love us more than we love ourselves. And then that's the problem that we seeing with these integrationalists. You can't integrate yourself out of this. You can't vote your way out of this. You can't assimilate yourself out of this. You can't race mix yourself out of this. You got to stand up on your own 2 feet and say, listen, it's not working out. We need an exit strategy. And if you can't do that, then listen, they say the slave goes down with his master. So you won't go right down with your master. And as we can see now, they shooting the brothers in the back unarmed, and that's hurtful. You know what I mean? That's really, really hurtful. You ain't got to deal with that if you in Africa. Ain't no white man in Africa shooting you in the back unarmed for whatever the reason may be. You could have your own land. You could be your own man, your own woman, and it's black government. It may not be perfect. No, it's never perfect. But at the end of the day, that's what we supposed to work on. We training the younger and the youth so that they can be the perfect black government that we want on the continent. But I think over here, it's total incompetency. You know what I mean? The black leadership, the celebrities, it's just nasty. And then, to sit here and it's total anti-Africanness more than I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it's disgusting. And I can't take it. That's why I said I'm really mean to them. Like, I be cussing them out. I don't have no rep for them. And this is the thing. They be hating too, because they don't want us to go back to Africa. The ones that want to go, they be hating. Well, why you ain't over there? Nigga, mind your business. When I get my bread up and I get my check up, I'm leaving you. And I'm going to be over there laughing at y'all while y'all still stuck here crying over which president to vote for, which policy or which representative is standing up for the homosexuals and the immigrants over you. So yeah, like, I'm out, and Liberia is it. And then I did my DNA. I know where I'm from. I know I'm African 100%. Okay, I could look in the mirror and see that I'm African. I will never deny that. Not for no nigga in America, not for no nigga in Europe, not for no nigga nowhere in the West. I will never deny what is truthfully in my blood and in my veins and on my skin. I can't do that just so I can appease white people in America or want to stay here with them. No, that's never going to happen. And to be honest, that FBA thing and that ADOS thing, them niggas is stupid anyway. Y'all did that just for reparations. And y'all don't even dig. If Whitey is broke, he ain't gonna pay you, whether he broke or not. He prints the money, but whether he prints it for you, that's the key. You talking all around the key. He prints the money, and he prints it for who he wants to print it for, whether it be Ukraine, whether it be for Israel. So, and that's not FBA or ADOS. So you sitting up here being so anti-African on a whim that this white man is going to give you any money, and you got to even ask him how much can he print for you. How about that?
Yeah, these people actually let the United States build the Israel a defense system.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about that. Like, they built a defense system for another nation, and they ain't even take care of the people that they fucked over.
Mm-hmm.
They had nothing to do with the Holocaust. But yet you build a defense system for Israel, giving Israel $30 billion. How much are they giving Liberia?
Okay, and the thing is, they owe Liberia a whole lot more. They owe Liberia a whole lot more. And the fact of the matter is, if the blacks in America, you want to vote on something, vote to give Liberia more money or to give the African countries more money, right? And two, why is our taxpaying dollars as African Americans going to Israel and Ukraine? I'm not white. I'm not European. I'm African. So my taxpaying dollars should be going to Liberia. It shouldn't be going to no white country that I'm not a part of. No, absolutely not. But
here's another question for ADOS and FBA. How come you weren't able to stop Trump from creating a trade war with the entire world? Isn't this your country?
Yeah, we was already here. So if you was already here, like, where your stuff at? What y'all doing?
How did you lose your language in the place that you were, of your origin? That's the one that I can't wrap my mind around. That's like a Chinese person saying, "Well, I can't speak Chinese, but we're originally from China, but I don't know how to speak Chinese because some foreigner came in and took away my ability to learn and bring forward my own language system. Make it make sense, because you're lying. That's what it is.
Yeah,
You
they
lying.
lying. And full of
Bunch of
shit.
bullshit. Yo, Deontay,
Yep.
I'm waiting for you to chime in, my brother.
Hold on, I'm almost ready.
Oh, he's on that crazy microphone again. That microphone be doing some crazy stuff.
Went and bought himself a third-party microphone.
Bought him a DEI mic.
Yeah, and real quick, yeah, it's just the audacity that they want to stop other blacks from even going back to Africa and getting what we deserve, because Africa's children will return home. You know what I mean? There's no in that.
Now to chime in, I had to take care of something. So you touched on everything. Y'all pretty much done said everything, but I'll chime in anyways. You got these same black folk that don't own anything, claim they're indigenous, don't speak any indigenous languages. They don't indulge in the food, custom, cultures, anything. What this is a self-hate movie. That's what that is. You basically announcing that you are just tied to the white man. That's just it. You're going down with the ship. And you know what? My personal opinion is fine. I'm glad that they took out weakest soldiers from our ranks. That actually makes us a lot stronger. So it's like what I said before. It's when after we get everything up and running, these same Negroes are going to come back looking for a place to live. Personally, I'm like, nope. You guys were in bed with the white man. You stay with him. That's how I feel about it.
Yo, Quasi, can you give me some more information on this national convention in Baltimore? I want to know more about that. I want to know who's actually going to be there, because it ain't like we ain't been looking for people of like mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're trying to get as many people as like mind to move forward. Yeah, this lady raised $1 million. $1 million.
Yeah, but she won't see any of it. They already put a stop to that. So for what it's worth.
Yeah, but the mere fact that she was able
But
to
she
do
got
that
yeah.
is what I'm talking about. And yet we are with the Liberia Leadership Academy. We trying to get 20 black people in the whole fucking world to donate to this. Because if 20 people can give $15 a week on a recurring basis, we're fully funded. Anything else on top of that is just, whipped cream and cherries. 20 people we can't get, but this lady can get 1 million people to support her in her racism. So who's really about it? That's what I'm asking. There's an uncomfortable truth. Who's really about it? Because these people back up they back up their bullshit with their money. That guy who killed what was the dude who killed Michael Brown? He
Yeah.
retired from the police force because he was able to raise like millions of dollars through GoFundMe.
And what's that guy that killed Trayvon Martin?
Yeah.
George Zimmerman.
Yup. Zimmerman still walking around untouched. That's crazy.
And making money. Like, so basically they're incentivizing our death. If a cop is out here, he knows if I kill a nigga, it's a possibility I'll be rich. So what's to stop him from doing it?
And the fact that
FBA.
Yeah, and the fact that they want to stay in a country where they can get killed and lynched all throughout the country, right? And no avail, no justice, but you was already here. We built this country. We built it. This is our land. Oh, really?
And these people, it's like your ancestors built this shit as slaves with whips to their fucking back. They didn't build it willingly, stupid. The average black person post-slavery wanted anything but the United States. There were all kinds of back to Africa and reparations movements that were actually legitimate back then. None of those former slaves ever lived to see anything given back to them for what they went through. And I could say the same for these descendants of these black towns that were ruthlessly razed to the ground by angry white fucking racists. I could see if FBA and ADOS were actually starting a movement for reparations for those people on their behalf, which would be more honorable. But they're not even about that. So
Deon,
it looked like this. Go ahead.
can you hold it down for me? I gotta go for just a split second. Just hold it down, all
Sure,
right?
sure. So all this talk about reparations where you don't own nothing and nobody values your life and there's nothing you can do to make white racist people pay for killing your people. It's all huff and puff. That's what it is. It's huff and puff. That's why white people look at them like everybody else looks at them as just this weird out of space creature. It's nothing.
And the fact that a lot of these people, these black Americans, y'all got like 3-4 generations up in here now. You got children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren. You want them going through the same cycle of hell in the West? Like it's like a hamster on the wheel that keep going round and round and round and can't find another pathway out. And but mind you, like I said, we already had all of these good black movements. And like you said, Deontay, it was so many black back to Africa movements, black liberation movements. It was betrayed by the the integrationalists who want to stay here and work it out. So that's the descendants that we're dealing with now of the the betrayers and the backstabbers of the black nationalist movement. They gonna pay for this though. They will, mark my words. And I'm going to see to it, and through my eyes and through the eyes of when I do eventually have children in the veil, they will pay for their treachery against the black movement and the blacks that want to go back to Africa. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, they are. There's no rest for the wicked. They say a coward dies 1,000 deaths, man. Like these people are anti-African, anti-black immigrant. They have the idea that these black immigrants are coming over here and stealing something from them. I don't know what they're talking about when they said that these people are organized against them. I'm like, what organization of black immigrants do you see organized against undermining African Americans? Can you point one out? I never see any of it. These people come over here working the same kind of jobs, making their money, just trying to be comfortable. That's what that looks like.
Mm-hmm. And see, in Philadelphia, it's so crazy because in Southwest, it's a lot of Liberians over here. Like every time I go out there and I see Liberians, I see Africans because you could tell. And I say, well, where you from? They say Liberia. I said, oh, what? When you taking me home with you? Put me in a suitcase and take me back home with you. And they be looking like, what? I'm like, yeah, what you mean? I'm African. I'm like, we supposed to go back to Liberia. That's what Garvey said. Marcus Garvey? They be like, they be shocked because they be like, oh, we got one here. She know what she talking about. And we get to talking about Liberian and food. Like, it's a lady over there named Emma. She has her own restaurant. She make the best potato greens, cassava leaf greens, and everything. Man, I be tearing them greens up. And they be like, yeah, come back home. That's what we want. That's what we need. So all of this, the Africans don't like us. What?
That's another one.
I'm like, what? Every time I go over there, maybe I am a female, but it didn't even matter. I met some Liberian ladies and they love me. And I'm telling you, it's like they're our cousins, they're our brothers and our sisters, and they want us to, come home and unite. And, and it's just such a beautiful thing when I talk to them. And, I just feel as though this whole anti-Africa movement started, like right when Trump got in, it started back up again, that this whole anti-African thing. And Yvette Carnell with her weird looking ass, funny looking ass, and Tariq Nasheed and all of that weird shit. Like, come on with that. You know what I mean? Tariq is doing it for money. He's
He's a
seriously
grifter.
because what
He's the
happened
grifter.
to all them black that history hidden colors crap, and then now you wash all that away, and now we FBA. Get the hell out of here! Like, you can't rename yourself, fool. Let me tell you, FBA don't even exist. Go on Indeed.com, and when you click a job and they tell you what's your race, it say Black, African American. I don't see no FBA. I don't see no ADOS during the census. What it say on there? Black, African American under race. When you go to fill out these forms on your job, what do it say for under race? It say Black, African American. It don't say no FBA. It don't say no freedman. It don't say no ADOS. It don't say no Hebrew Israelite. It don't say no more. It don't say none of that dumb shit these niggas be claiming. So like, it's totally a mental. They have a it's called the identity dissociation disorder.
Yep. I don't see no other race of people in the world doing this shit but black people.
I always tell
I could be wrong. But go ahead, Joe.
if you go to Google and type in FBA, the first two things that you're gonna see is fulfillment by Amazon and functional behavioral assessment, a
And
process
also
used
Federal
by
Bar Association for the attorneys.
right. And if you go to Google and type in ADOS, ADOS standing for the Autism Diagnostic Observation Schedule.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Whew.
Yvette do look autistic. She do. She do. I mean, it's pathetic. You know what I mean? It's pathetic. And I just stay away from them. Like, I don't date them. You can't, hell no. I would never date nobody talking that craziness. That's why now, like, if you single and on the nationalist tip, I'm really guarded because no, I don't want no Negro talking about he ain't African trying to be dating me. No, because that's an insult, not only to me, but to yourself. How you gonna sit here now after all these years, after 400 years, now you ain't African? Okay. Okay. Well, go over there with some other chick who ain't African, because I am. Okay. So it's not gonna work out, bro. Have a nice day.
Black folks ain't got no money. Unless it's a Chris Brown photo, then they got money.
$1,000, $1,200 to be exact.
Or Hermes Birkin bag made in China.
Mm-hmm. Why does a
Yeah.
bag cost $30,000? Can somebody explain that to me?
I would never.
Because apparently from the way that capitalism works, you can set whatever price of value you think something is worth. So if you make a bag out of some cheap used up
You
leather,
got people
hey,
buying bags and don't have money to put in them.
yeah, that's what capitalism is.
What
I'm a
kills
capitalize.
me is what kills me is Diddy bought 10,000 bottles of baby oil. And half the kids in the projects is ashy because you can't even find no baby oil on the shelves because Diddy done bought them all for his retail party. Okay, now that is insulting. That just needs to be studied, and I will make sure that this will be printed in the history books so that way we can tell our kids this is what they spent. The African Americans spent their money on baby oil than on having a nation.
Yep. None of these Negroes got their money in the black bank. None of these Negroes have even given any bite or light to the black bank. It's the simplest, most easiest thing to do. Everybody has the consensus that, yeah, we need to pool our resources. Yet, it's really sad and it's pathetic and it's embarrassing how much we don't support our institutions. When we went to Atlanta, it was
Yeah,
sad when we went to the Black
Black
Wall
Wall
Street. It was sad. Black folks would abandon Black Wall Street and then go to the White Mall. Place was damn near empty.
tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yet everybody is claiming this position of pro-blackness. I'm calling BS. I'm calling BS unless I see. That's why Yamoja, all of us have done. We taken pictures of our black bank card and posted it up. Hopefully it catches on. Oh, speaking of the devil, we got Yamoja in the house.
I cannot tell y'all how frustrated I am right now. Talking about we got emoji in the house. You got emoji in the park setting up for Mother's Day shit, and I didn't miss my brother. The whole man, seriously, I just looked at my phone. I had my phone in the damn car charging. I'm so mad. Um, emoji in the house. Emoji in the house. Seriously, huh? It is crowded right there. Spread it out some. Yeah, spread it out some. Cause that's like hella bread. That's hella bread. Just bread.
Yo,
Hey,
Michael, I see you, Mike. I see you, Michael McGarry. He says the lack of support for black-owned institutions is yet another pink elephant.
Well, you know they prices.
man, I do have something to say, y'all. Speaking of which, because I was gonna complain to my woman about it. For real. Because I didn't know how to set it up. Seriously though, y'all. So I'm talking about this was like a couple days ago. I think I was talking about something and I mentioned the word retarded in reference to the behavior or social behavior. And literally this morning, some brother decided to message me talking about that's tape. Some brother decided to message me talking about like that word, I shouldn't use that word, like in reference to anybody and how he work in mental health. And I tried to express to him that why he's policing my words and that word in particular, like why hasn't he ever talked to me about anything else that I've ever said ever in life? But this trigger word of his, he wanted to talk. And then he goes on to say, oh, he was in the war. He was in the war zone for 10 years. And I'm like, bro, I bet that's fascinating. I would love to hear that story. But we talking about how we socially retarded. And this brother keeps on staying on this word. And I didn't even get around to say like, because it goes to, it kind of fits. I'm trying to make it fit with how I'm trying to make it fit with how we don't support our own institutions because I obviously brought it all the way back around to, bro, I speak about a lot of stuff. And the main thing I talk about is us doing this and how to benefit this. He wanted to keep on talking about this word, y'all. He want to talk about this word so bad. Like if I show y'all the paragraph that he was writing, it looked like a brilliant brother too. I can't even say his name. I don't even know where he's from. Looked like a Central African name, honestly. And I'm talking about a beautiful brother, but he was really upset about this word with his mental health awareness as, and didn't much want to talk about anything black progressive. And
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
that's what was on my mind right when the call was supposed to start. And I got busy doing this thing. You better come back.
it's
Just
par
don't bring
for
the
the course.
dog trying to eat the hot. Yep, I'm talking to you. This for Mother's Day. You look like you got a mama. You look like see, we gonna be here. It's gonna be some burgers and hot dogs for you. Come on back. But yeah, man. It's really frustrating getting us to focus on the W's. Seriously. Seriously. But anyway, what did I miss? What did I miss? I know I missed something.
You miss
Hello.
Vanessa dropping it. That's what you miss. But listen to the archive. You'll see.
Hello,
Hmm.
everyone. I just want to say shout out to Vanessa. I was listening to some of what, Vanessa was saying, and of course, what the great what is it, Brother Joe was talking about. Y'all was doing some good work. I just want to just come in and just add briefly, not too much.
I
The
got one.
another pink elephant in the room is nothing can happen without planning and strategizing leading to an objective or an end game.
Man.
One of the biggest problems is we will have all of these concepts and theories and all of these things that we want to see, happen. And that's cool. That's great. How do we make that happen? What is
Speak.
the planning? What is the strategy? What is what we say before? What is the end game?
That's it.
Because how do we know that we've achieved liberation or we've achieved nationhood or we've achieved whatever it is if there's no concrete end game? Okay, this is where we're
Hello.
starting. This is what we plan to do in the next 5 years or the next 10 years. How are we going to get that happening? And because that does not happen a lot of the time, we get nowhere because we don't even know where we want to end up at.
I
Correct.
know what I would end up at.
Peace,
Correct.
brother Jabari, and peace, brother Umoja. Yeah, and to touch on what Jabari said, thank you, I appreciate it. You're right, it does take strategic planning, like, to go back home to Africa, specifically Liberia, right? It does take planning. Is it a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan to start making that transition? How will that transition look like? Will I be living there in my own home? Do I want like to make a small compound for whoever's coming with me? Is it in the city life, or do I want the rural life, or whatever the case may be? And how will that look like? Start traveling over there. Do I have my passport in order? How long does it take to get my visa and citizenship as well? And then like you said, in 5, 10, 15 years to start building these roads and building schools and hospitals. It takes time to do these things, right? And I think you mentioned it in like a couple lives back, to really, like, say if I had the idea like Akon to say I wanted to build a city in Africa. How long does that take? What does that look like? That's the planning that we need to be talking about with serious like minds. How much do we need to invest? How much does it take to get the equipment and the tools that we need over there? Who has the proper skills to know? They said Liberia has the best timber in the world. The rubber over there, just different things. How do you want your home to be structured and different things of that nature? Who knows how to build the bricks? All of this stuff has to be strategically planned. And it's like we sitting up in here, we playing games with these celebrities who want to trick off their money to white folks. I mean, it is disgusting. It in the bottom of my stomach, it is like ill. All of this money is wasted when we could be over there building the paradise of our dreams. I've been following Dr. Arikana for a while now, and she is right. It's time for us to stop the brain drain here, in America, and bring some of this knowledge and reverse the brain drain and bring it back to Africa and build it up. I'm so proud that we have a better sense over here in this live, because when you go, like, I unsubscribe and unfollow a lot of them other people who just want to talk about celebrity gossip and just want to talk about a bunch of, oh, white people said that they called us an N-word today. Oh, boo hoo hoo. Who cares? At the end of the day, they can say whatever they want to say. It's about you and what you doing and what moves you gonna be making for you and your family in the next 10 or 15, 20 years. We keep talking about, I hear the seniors, oh, retirement, and Social Security. Yeah, well, you sitting up here with your Social Security check, barely living, barely making it. If you applied that Social Security check and going back to Africa, you could be living like a whole king or a whole queen with that money, instead of sitting here penny pinching, looking stupid. So yes, I do agree with you, Jabari. That planning, and that's what I be doing all the time. I be thinking and strategizing. Like, what am I going to take over there? What do I need? What is my first step? The first step was me getting the passport. What's the next step? Okay, let me go to the embassy and talk to somebody to see how I can get the visa to travel to get over there and to try to get my citizenship. Then when I get my citizenship too, what part of the country in Liberia do I want to live in? Do I want to live here? Do I want to live there? What's beneficial for me, so that way I could be able to, start my business, or open up a school, open up a hospital, whatever it is that I want to do over there. The sky is the limit. You have to go hard thinking big, or you just going to stay here and be stuck like Chuck.
Yeah. Yo,
Yeah.
Vanessa, can you see the screen?
Yes. Oh, I love you too. Come on, come up here.
Yeah, man. She's cooking.
I know she might be busy. We all know today's the special day, so I know she's gonna be busy. But yeah, most of the issues can be resolved by simply planning and strategizing, but nobody wants to do that. It's what we said before. There is no we, there is no us, there is no collective. And so what happens? Everything's discombobulated, everything is thrown off. Nobody knows what direction we're going in. That's why you have the we are Native Americans, and we were Olmecs, and we were the ancient Egyptians, because there's no strategy, there's no end game. So it's just a free for all. There's a vacuum that has to be filled. So once we in our community, and to bring Michael McGarry's point of, once we have a general consensus, because everybody not going to agree. Once we have a general consensus, when we've debated, once we've decided what the plan, what is going to be the end game, and we plan it through, 90% of Black liberation, like 90% of it's solved right there. It's right there. You practically, now we just put it into motion.
Yeah. The Black Bank is a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
No-brainer.
Let me talk about one more pink elephant in the room that I feel like needs to be talked about, and it's important because today what has captured a lot of us who are intelligent and serious, we're really wrapped up in mental health, and I think that it's important, and we should know that Black people have dealt with mental health to an extent where it's generational, like literally it's in our DNA. Trauma, right? We see the police and we flinch, our heart stop and jump a little bit, depending on where you at in your lifestyle, right? Type stuff for any reason. But when we talk about trauma, I want to get it really expressed to Black people that it's impossible to heal from your trauma when you're directly in it. That's like telling somebody to like get over your PTSD while you in prison, getting fucked. Like excuse the harshness, but if you in that situation, right? I'm not trying to be like crass here, but it is telling us to heal with our initial trauma when at any moment we could turn around and it's right there in front of our face. We could be going to school, we could be going to the bank, we could be looking at TV, and bam, you a nigga. And it's impossible to heal from that shit when you just right in it. We've mastered ignoring it. We've reclaimed the word nigga and blah blah blah. Come on, baby. You brought the game. But yeah, I just want to really express that point, and that's why we talk about Liberia. That's why we talk about Africa. That's why we talk about let's all get down south and conglomerate. That's why the fuck, excuse my tone, but that's why the fuck we talk about putting our money in a Black fucking bank, y'all. God damn.
Yeah.
There's things we could do here in America that could be effective, and we want to just party and bullshit instead. And how y'all say about it? Give our money millions. Hey, white girl, I give you 10 million to just leave me alone. You fucker.
And to get on his point too, yeah, you can't police my words. I just said the word retarded the other day. Yeah, it's retarded to buy 10,000 bottles of baby oil and not go back to and use that money to go back to Africa. It's dumb. It's retarded to pay a white 19-year-old girl $25,000 per butt cheek and you sitting up here looking stupid, and you don't have no exit in game strategy back to Africa, right? And then like you said too, this hole that we have in our heart and our spirit and in our bodies and in our minds, being staying in America is not going to fulfill it. Voting Democrat or Republican is not going to fill that hole. Being in Christianity or whatever Hebrew Israelite religion is not going to fill that hole, brothers and sisters. That hole is going to be filled by taking your black ass back over to the motherland and having that soil touch your feet. The sun shines the brightest in Africa. That sun hitting your skin, that air all in your lungs, that's going to fulfill that hole that we've been missing so long. And our hole, that hole will be filled with the love of the spirit and of the ancestors in Africa. And I truly believe, I just can't wait till I get over there. And I'm gonna tell, and I always say this, ain't no if I build it, they gonna come. No, you ain't gonna come nowhere where I build over there. You ain't put nothing towards to it, honey.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'm gonna build it, and I'm gonna build it complete perfectly over there where the sun is shining the brightest on it. I'm gonna be so proud. I don't care if I'm 93 years old and I'm over there building it. I'm gonna build it, and ain't none of these anti-African Negroes over here going to be stepping one foot on what I built.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Thank
And if
you.
I found out you were affiliated in that crap, we banning you from the country. Put your
For
ass on the
real.
note.
I'm taking notes of every anti all on these social media pages, even in person. If you even utter the lips, any from your lips, anything anti-Africa, oh, I got another nigga I'm banning. And if I catch you, let me tell you, because I'm ruthless. I'm like what's Winnie Mandela? If I catch you over there with that, you think a tire wrapped around your neck on fire. I'm gonna get you real good, because you want to know why? It's really distasteful to sit here and try to stop and ban the children from Africa that want to return home, and to sit here and to do it on social media for the entire world to see. Listen, this not just only for the Americas to see. The Chinese people are seeing it, and they like, what? You got Chinese people trying to go to Africa and build, and they like, why is the African Americans over here speaking so negatively about the place where they were stolen from? And everybody can see it, the whole world could see it, and it's so ugly and it's so hurtful and it's an embarrassment. And yeah, they are retarded. You can't police no words. That I especially, look, I'm from Philly, I say all the words that we're not supposed to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they retarded for that. And that mental retardation is trickling down to your children and to your grandchildren and to your great grandchildren. It's going to be a lineage. Y'all talking about we delineating. Yeah, well, y'all delineating to some retarded shit, because it's how can you delineate from your race? You don't see white people doing that. They proudly to say they Irish. They proud to say they Italian. They proud to say that they from Ukraine and all of these other places.
French.
But now all of a sudden we not African. No, there's no we. They're not African, because I know I am.
Yeah. Yo, Vanessa, you got to come on more often, man. What's
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah, we every Sunday 12 to 1 usually. But since it's Mother's Day, we got a female one spitting bars. We decided to break the rules.
And we're going to Liberia in December, so if you want to come, just let us know.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm trying to stack my funds up. That's another reason too why we need to be promoting the black owned banks. And because I said that too. Me and my mom, it was a black owned bank in Philadelphia called the United Bank. And started by a black lady. She passed away. I met her. She was so sweet. However, when she passed away, a lot of the banks had closed down. Like at least 6 of the banks had closed down. So I'm trying to figure out what happened to the last bank that she had. Maybe it got swallowed up into the other white banks. But we definitely said that we definitely said we need a black owned bank in Philadelphia. But in the meantime, we do have accounts with the United Bank online. But that's my account that I'm putting money in aside to go back to Africa. Like I wanted to go to Liberia. We found out that we from Sierra Leone, from the Menende tribe. you know, I want to go to all the countries in Africa. I don't care, you know what I mean? But and then my mom, she's so stuck on Burkina Faso right now because she is in love with Ibrahim Traore. She was like, he's so handsome, he's so fine. I just gotta go over there and go back to Africa. And my mom cracks me up, you know. That's why I love her so much, because she always instilled in me Africa. My father always, like, when he bought me, I was like 7 years old, he bought me a map of the world, and he bought me a globe, right? Because he was a computer engineer. And on the map, the biggest continent I seen was Africa. And I was studying the countries. I was like, wow, this is the biggest continent. And on the globe, it just pops out at you on the globe, you know what I mean? And I always said, like, we always just had an African presence in my household. It never was anti-African, because we got all shades from the darkest to the lightest. So I never had that problem of colorism or, you know, texturism or none of that. And now, like, in the real world, when you get outside and you see how other people act in the real world, they are colorist. They do have a problem, or you too light, or you too dark, or you this, or you that, or you. And now the whole anti-African thing, that shit took me for a loop, because all I know growing up is African. We was African. We was stolen. You know, we got to go back home. And now it's just like, it's disappointing to see that on social media, the biggest, loudest channels is all spitting all this hate on the African people and on the African continent. And if it wasn't for the minerals and the resources, you wouldn't even be on these computers and on these phones to even spit this. That coltan don't come from the United States. That coltan comes from the motherland. And this is just sad, and it's pathetic the way how they just disconnect themselves completely from the two. You wouldn't have this if it wasn't for that. And to keep it 100, if the Africans really, because they're starting to come together, if they said today or tomorrow that none of the resources is going to the West, which would be to Europe and America, what would y'all do? Would you now? Are you still so I'm American now? If you don't have them resources to have your little precious iPhones and your little laptops and your little Tesla cars and your little TV screens and PlayStation 5s, it ain't gonna be no more PlayStation without that coltan. So I'm waiting on the day where Africa says, we ain't giving y'all none of our resources. We keeping it for ourselves to build our own country up. And that's what Ibrahim is doing. And I totally salute that. And it's just to the point where I'm gonna be quick. It's to the point where it's gonna be real hard for these blacks in America in a minute, because Whitey already shunned you, you know what I mean? And now the other races, they over here just to get their money and take it back to their own personal countries. You see, they not helping the Black American cause. So the Black Americans here that's talking this anti-African crap, they gonna be in for a rude awakening. They're gonna be out in the cold if they don't get their mind right.
Yeah. Damn. We should just end it on that.
Yeah, I think we should. That's a mic drop.
Just drop the mic and end the show. That's it. But yeah, man. Yeah, we went past the hour. I think we good. I appreciate everybody who called in. I definitely appreciate Vanessa. This was her first time, and she killed it.
Yeah. We gonna see you here next Sunday, sis?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, just look out for us. I know that YouTube doesn't let anybody know when I'm doing anything, but you know, just check it out anyway.
Thank you for having me on. I do appreciate that. And shout out to brother Dawood too. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You know, you guys are a breath of fresh air. Y'all open my minds and my heart so much that you know, it won't be forgotten. I'm telling you. And y'all gonna see me in Liberia, okay? And I will be there. And I'm not playing no games. So I love you all. I really, really, truly do. Keep up the good work. And I truly appreciate it.
No game.
Yeah, love you, sis.
Yeah, I like that. I like this one.
So I will see the rest of you guys on the lounge later on tonight. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll holler at y'all later.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Peace.
Happy Mother. Oh
Day
yeah,
to
Happy
everybody
Mother's
with
Day.
mothers.
Happy
Hey.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. I mean, to all the ladies, thank you. I'm not a mother yet, but thank you.